So when people are polled and asked, can you cite a verse of the scripture, of the Bible? The most popular answer, and this is not just Christians, this is just a general population. The number one answer is an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. It's really interesting because this is one of the most misunderstood verses in Scripture. It was a framework for thinking about justice that was thousands of years old. And what it said, it was called lex talionis, where we get the idea of retaliation from. And the idea was that you could hurt someone back, but you could only hurt them back in exactly the manner that they hurt you. Reciprocal harm. So if someone broke your arm, you could break their arm, but it actually had to be the same arm and you couldn't hurt anything else, right? And yet we kind of think about that, and scholars say we've misused it, and we've taken it and created a license for revenge. I mean, we hear it all the time, an eye for an eye, tooth for tooth. And yet it was intended to stop the spiral of violence, to say you can't do more harm. And we think of like attacks like September 11th or the October 7th attack and the retaliation that then goes out of control, or even, arguments in our neighborhoods that start small, but they keep escalating. And so stopping the spiral of violence was a good thing. But we know that we can do better than mirroring the evil, right? Our parents teach us two wrongs don't make a right. If Lisa gouged my eye out, I mean, it's hard to imagine, really, she's so nice. But if she did, like, not many of us would argue that I should actually take her eye out. And so it makes so much sense when Jesus comes, right? Not as the negation of the law, but the fulfillment, to say, you've heard it said, an eye for an eye. Come on. Moses told you this, but I tell you this, you don't even need to hurt them back.
Mm.
And he teaches us to transcend violence without mirroring it. So I want to invite you to practice that, to say, even if someone has harmed me or says something terrible about me, I'm not going to return that harm. The way of taking action today might be to forgive someone who hasn't even asked for forgiveness. Because what I've learned about forgiveness is it's not just for their sake, but it's for our sake, so that we can move on and refuse to allow whatever wrong was done to us to continue to define who we are and change who we are and create resentment and hatred in our hearts. So forgive somebody, not because they deserve it, but because it's who you are.